Buddy, this is Epic Gaming or Epic Music, and today I'm going to be reviewing Van Halen's classic album, 1984. Now, this was the last Van Halen album to feature frontman vocalist David Lee Roth. But this album was the first to feature a lot of synthesizers, something Eddie Van Halen really had a growing interest in from a few albums ago. Before that, this is, in my mind, in my opinion, the best Van Halen album. Other people could argue it could be the first Van Halen, 5150. I've seen a whole bunch of different album ranking of the Van Halen albums, and usually 1984 is in the top three most of the time. I do like 5150 in the first one. I will review 5150 maybe next. Actually, I'll review it two reviews, because next review I want to review Dark Before Dawn by Breaking Benjamin. But because this album is only 9 tracks, also, I'm going to only do one video, so because it's only 9 tracks and I don't have a whole lot to say about a lot of the tracks, I'm just going to confine this one to one video. And expect the same for other albums like Master of Puppets and 5150. Albums from the 80s and even sometimes in some cases 90s or even now, it was likely for there to be less than 10 tracks. So let's start. Track 1 is 1984. Now this is a very good example of what it represents. 1984 is it's obviously a year, but it's the book about a dystopian future by George Orwell, who also wrote Animal Farm. Which he's a very good author, and this song almost sounds dystopian. It's very weird and futuristic sounding with the different synthesizer, and it's really, really neat sounding in its futuristic tone. And I actually heard this song playing in a bathroom at Disney World in Florida's Tomorrowland area. And you know what? It makes sense. It's that kind of music. It's like a really relaxing synthesizer music. I'd recommend you check it out. The second track is Jump. This is probably Van Halen's most popular song across the board. Everyone knows this song. This is a classic 80s rock song, a classic song. It's got a great switch between synthesizer and electric guitar by Eddie Van Halen, which is fantastically done. In this album, the ability for him to switch between one instrument to another. If you see the music video, it's pretty spectacular. And DLR's vocals, David Lee Roth's vocals, are great. Everything sounds really good. The next song's Panama. Again, this is another classic, well-known, well-loved song by Van Halen. I love this song. I know a lot of other people that do. It's got a really nice guitar riff. It's identifiable definitely as Van Halen. The next song is a Top Jimmy. Top Jimmy is kind of just a song. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than it just sounds like a Van Halen song. It's a good enough song. It's not super standout, and it's not super bad. It's just mediocre. Same with Drop Dead Legs, which is the 5th track. There's not a whole lot really there. I mean, well, it's just a Van Halen song. My feelings are neutral. The next song, track 6, is Hot for Teacher, and that has a really goofy name and a lot of kind of childish things in the lyrics, but it's actually a really good song, and the opening of it has a really nice, 30 or so second drum riff by Alex Van Halen, and this, which he does on the electric drums, which were fairly new back at this point in time. This was really cool. I really like this solo. The song itself is goofy, but the drum solo is amazing at the beginning. It's just a really nice opening to this song. The next song is All Wait, which is track 7. Now, this is a pretty good song too. It's a really good song for synthesizer. David Lee Roth's vocals sound great as always. It's a really, really solid song. I really like listening to this song. And something I really like, again, is just the synthesizer, and it sounds really good with David Lee Roth's vocals. Next is Girl Gone Bad. This is a pretty good song, too. It's very fast. It's very the drum beat and the guitar is just like dun 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 dun. It's really fast. It's like I think like 6/6 time. It's a fast song. It's a good song too. And the last song, House of Pain's also a pretty fast song, but the guitar sounds really classic Van Halen-y here. It's a great ending, and that's the album. It's a really good classic 9-track album. Again, I don't like using personal bias when it comes to rating albums. I'd give this album an A, and mainly because it's a classic album. A ton of people love it. Critics love it. People love it. There's at least 3 songs on there that a ton of people know, whether you're a Van Halen fan or you're just an average music listener. This is a really good album. I'd recommend it if you want to listen to Van Halen. It's definitely a good album. I'm sure most of you have heard at least one song on it. But yeah, that's all. So stay tuned for my next Breaking Benjamin Dark Before Dawn album review, and that's all. Have a great day, and remember to like, comment, or subscribe.